I was challenged to do the homeschool tag to answer some of the 12 most common questions that homeschoolers are asked, because a lot of people have questions about how and why we homeschool. Every family is different and they're going to do it however meets their personal needs. But here's a little bit of why we do it and how we do it to answer those questions. Excuse me. Number one is, why do you homeschool? I didn't intend to homeschool. My husband wasn't really interested in it when we first started having kids, but when our first was ready for school, she was too young to go to school because of the arbitrary dates that various school districts set for when they deem kids ready to go to school. So we just started homeschooling, and our second was born with special needs, and it just worked better for him to be home, and we just kind of haven't stopped since then. Number two, what do your children think about homeschooling? They love it. We're just hanging out in our pajamas when the school bus goes by every day. And it's kind of funny. But we're done by lunch every day. And they have so much extra time to do whatever they want. And we pretty much are out in the community doing stuff and going places by 11 a.m. every day. And they've had a full school day. Does your extended family support you? They do. My family is very supportive of homeschooling. Both my sisters now homeschool their children as well. And my husband's family, like him, they just weren't really exposed to it at first, and they weren't too sold. But now that they've seen how our kids have learned over the years and what functional, awesome little people they are, they're totally on board and they think it's great. Were you homeschooled? I was homeschooled until 8th grade. My two sisters and I both were. And then our parents sent us to public school because it was just the best thing for our family then. What's the best advice you've been given? Probably every kid has their own pace for learning. I have a very dear friend who has now 10 awesome kids, and she homed most of them for a while. And I would be pushing my first to frustration. I would be so upset. She's just not picking up on these concepts. And she'd be like, Meg, maybe she's just not ready, and that's okay. And it took me a while to accept that was plausible, but that was my first. And I'm so grateful she's such an easygoing kid, because my friend was right. Eventually it clicked, and all my kids have picked up on different concepts at different ages and done really, really well. We just have to wait until they're ready. There's no arbitrary age for a skill. Favorite thing about homeschooling? I love being with my kids every day. I love it. And I am so blessed to have those moments when a concept clicks. You know, when you watch a baby learn new things, like when they learn how to clap for the first time, or you hear your baby's first laugh, and it's just like, you get this thrill, and it's like, oh my goodness, he just did it. And you want him to do it 15 more times so you can get it on camera for everyone to see, because it's so awesome. I get to watch that every single day with all the skills my kids learn with schoolwork. And it's really true. When your kid sounds out cub for the first time because they could put k, and b together, it's insanely exciting. And it's really a blessing to be able to be home with my kids and see that all day, every day. Least favorite thing about homeschooling. I got burnt out, and there's not much sympathy out there. I can just get so tired and exhausted and have bad days, and my kids have bad days, and there aren't many people that I can talk to about it, because when I'm frustrated with having my kids in my face all day and I get burned out, most of society goes, send them to school. I have a few awesome homeschooling mom friends, and they're always encouraging. And for some reason, I just feel bad going to them when I get burned out, because I'm sure they get burned out too, and they keep trucking. I think we all need to come together better as a community, or maybe I just need to swallow my pride and go to them. But It really frustrates me how the rest of society, as soon as you say homeschooling is hard, they say, give up. That is my least favorite. What is the most annoying comment you get? Beside the last one I just mentioned, there are so many. How are your kids going to be socialized? I don't know. We all talk all day long to each other. They know how to talk to people of all ages. They know how to treat people of all ages, not just 25 kids they're stuck in a classroom with all day. We do all right. How will they know how to stand in line? Don't worry, I've got this under control. I make them stand in line to brush their teeth. And when they're at Target, I make them stand in line behind the cart. All over that skill. Don't even bother anymore. How do you know they're learning? How do you know your kids are learning? You're not even there teaching them. I'm teaching mine. I see the light bulbs go on. I know they're learning. But in reality, we all take the same standardized tests. My kids have to take the same tests your kids have to take. I know they're learning. What is something that did not work for you? At this point, co-ops. We just don't do co-ops. It's not something that works for us. Like I said, my second child has special needs. And we just kind of do what works best for him on a daily basis while respecting everybody in the whole family's needs. But his are the most prominent most of the time. And a forced association group is just not what's in his best interest most days. So we go with what works for him, and that works for the whole family. So we just don't do co-ops. And I know that's shocking to most homeschoolers, but co-ops don't work for us. I teach my own kids. We do everything on our terms, and then we go out into the world on our terms, and we do great. Something that did work for you. I know people, dog's happy. I know a lot of people dislike the boxed curriculums, they call them, where it all comes in one. And I have been to homeschool mama groups where people have said, oh, what curriculum do you use? And I say, Abeka. And people have straight up said, I hate Abeka. Abeka is horrible. Well, I'm sorry it didn't work for your family, but it works really well for us. I used to teach myself. I used to be a teacher myself. Maybe I taught myself too, I don't know. But I don't even get the curriculum guides. I love the textbooks. I love the way their curriculum is structured. And I buy it, I look at the content on the page, and I teach it how my kid learns best. And it's different for every kid. But boxed curriculum has worked well for us because we're kind of rogue and we do that our own way too. But it works for us. What is your homeschooling style? We do a little bit of unit study because we do history, science, and ASL all together, all grades together. But then we also do a little bit of sit down and structured time. So I think we're kind of eclectic because we're not traditional, we're not classical. We definitely aren't Charlotte Mason, though I admire that approach. I just don't have it in me with 5 kids. And we do some unit studies, so we kind of do what works for us depending on the subject and the kid and the year. Does your spouse or partner take part in your homeschooling? Yes. My husband is crazy supportive. Like when I've had those bad days and I'm just burnt out, he's like, call Corinne, homeschool mom friend, and go to Target. Get coffee and walk around and look at clearance racks. Like, see what Corinne is up to today. He's so supportive. Like, he is my PTA. He is everything that I could need and support. And additionally, if he's working from home that day and a kid is having a struggle and I'm frustrated, he just steps in and is all right, show me what you're doing. Let's do this. And he has a totally fresh viewpoint on everything. And he loves history and genealogy, anything having to do with those topics. So when the kids learn something in regards to those, they get so excited to talk to daddy about it. And he just has a full conversation with them. And they learn so much more because even though I feel like I did a great job teaching them and they really dug in and enjoyed the content, they then go talk to daddy and they get more hands-on, just interactive learning, and that's so great for them. They enjoy it, my husband enjoys it, and they learn even more than they would have with just me talking and teaching them and doing our lessons. And that's it. I hope that was informative or at least comical. That's probably the 12 most common questions that homeschoolers get asked from non-homeschoolers and homeschoolers alike.